brought you guys this
Oh,
flower.
uh,
Hi, Chris. How are you?
hi, I'm good. How are you both doing today?
Good.
Doing all right. Thank you.
No problem. That's great to hear. So, to get this started for both of you, if you had the choice to be in a different era of the Fear Street franchise, which one would it be and why?
Maybe the 70s, but that might just be because it was it took place at a summer camp, and I want to go back to summer camp.
Hmm.
I think for me it would be the 90s. I love the 90s, like for style and for like music, like Limp Bizkit. Like
Ooh.
I love the 90s. Like I still find myself like nowadays like trying to emulate what they were doing back then. But yeah, I think the 90s for me.
Pretty good choices. So, if you guys would want to go to the 70s and 90s respectively, would you guys feel terrified if you were confronted by Tommy Slater and the Skull Mask Killers then?
No, I would.
Fina would be fine.
Yeah, I would be totally fine. I would
Hmm.
keep my cool, no problem, and I would just, quick little two.
She uppercut and then they'd be
Oh
fine.
my
They'd
God.
be fine. No, I
Don't
would
worry,
be
India, I got
terrified.
you. I got
I
you.
mean, if we were together, I know we chose different eras, but I feel like we'd probably laugh it off and then be terrified. Like, but me and Fina, I don't know. For me, I'm one of those people that I've always said if I was like in a like survival, like a moment of survival where you need to like fight to survive, I wouldn't fight.
Oh,
I
you
feel
know what?
like I don't have the will
I
to do.
say I think India would be great in that kind of situation. Just,
Oh,
I'm gonna tell a quick story, but
all right.
India was pickpocketed while we were together one time, and she got that pocket back.
Oh
She
my
was
God.
not pickpocketed for long. She put
Mm-mm.
up a fight, and it was great, and it was
I
very
didn't let that slide.
didn't.
Yep.
Hmm.
So I think
Yep.
that put her in a situation of trouble, she's got it.
Yeah, okay, maybe the fight's in me. It comes down to the situation.
In
Yeah, but you guys got each other's backs, and I'm glad to
Mhm.
see that here. But with your characters in this film, it's a completely different situation because the back and forth cycle between but Laurie and Tiffany really carries this movie, and it gradually gets to some really crazy and funny extremes. As both of you were reading through the story and the script, what was that line or scene that really made you go, "I actually can't believe that we're bringing this scene to life"?
Mm, I think it's funny because my relationship with Fina from the get-go was like kind of immediately close. Like that's not even I'm not even just saying that. Like within moments of meeting each other, we like latched on. Um, so filming the scenes where Tiffany and Laurie are like head to head, like Tiffany being like straight up horrible. It's funny to in the moment think this is crazy. My best friend is saying this to me right now because like I don't know. I think moments like that where I was like, this is crazy and completely opposite to how we actually feel for each other. So I guess those moments, but like obviously then the crazy gore and the not to give too much away, but like those crazy,
There is
moments
some
that
gore.
there's some gore by the way. I'm just warning you.
Of course.
Um, but I think I don't know. Their whole relationship was so interesting for Fina and I to explore because it was so drastically different to what we were feeling for one another. So I guess that was just fun.
Totally.
Mm.
I had fun with
So,
this too.
oh, that.
She had fun being mean to me. She's basically saying
Yeah.
she enjoyed
Oh, well,
it.
it's so great you guys had such a good time together. And on the characters a little bit more for you, India, because Lori gets bullied a lot by Tiffany, but she's able to find this sort of sense of empowerment, yet empathy through Megan, Tyler, and all the other characters that she also interacts with later, sort of later in the film. So, how do you think Lori's journey resonated with you as you read the book and adapted who she was in your performance?
Yeah, I definitely um, see myself in Laurie. I think I had a not so much a similar experience when it came to bullying. I feel very grateful to say I never had to be I was never bullied, but I think throughout sort of the end of my secondary school experience, maybe around like 14, 15, 16, I was a lot like Laurie in the sense that I wasn't popular. Like I wasn't hugely popular, but people knew who I was, and I was like friends with popular kids. So I think that was interesting to tap into playing Laurie, because I think that's where that sense of like strength and empowerment comes from. She knows who she is. And I think I admired that a lot. I spent a lot of my secondary school years thinking, I don't know who I am and I don't know what I'm doing. So seeing Laurie be so like honest and willing to continue to be nothing but herself, I think I really admired and I liked playing.
I love that answer so much. And for you, Fina, sort of on the opposite end of things, because Tiffany bullies Laurie a lot, but I couldn't help but feel that she's sort of channeling this rage that balances sort of being justified and sort of being unreasonable in sort of little sense. Because so even though this makes Tiffany abrasive when she's confronting Laurie, do you think there's something in her character to empathize with? And if so, how did that stick with you?
I mean, I think Tiffany is just trying to get through high school the only way she knows how. At her core, she's quite insecure and unsure of who she is, kind of similar to Lori. And I think, as India said, since Lori has that kind of internal strength, I think that's probably pretty threatening for Tiffany. Um, but I wouldn't call her justified, and I wouldn't necessarily say that that's a right way to go about things, to kind of try to chop other people down just because you're not feeling too great yourself. Um, but at times while filming, Tiffany does express herself in a pretty outlandish and absurd way that was at least exciting to explore from an acting perspective, and was fun to have her outbursts.
Yeah, that outburst during one particular scene during the prom between you two was really funny. And I don't know if I can spoil it, but it sort of involves a dance battle. And
Sort of.
that entire
Sort
sequence.
It
of.
involves a dance battle.
Yeah, that sequence was really funny. And so, but both of you have had some experience also within sort of the space of horrors and thrillers, like you, India with The Strangers Chapter 1, and with you, Fina, with The Paper Girls. So, given that both of you take these lead roles with Laurie and Tiffany, was there anything you both took from those experiences to apply in your performances here?
Hmm. Well, when I did Paper Girls, it was a sci-fi show, so we still had like a lot of effects and stunts, but there wasn't the same. There were still dangers, but it wasn't the same kind of feeling, I guess. Um, I don't know. I remember while filming Paper Girls, a lot of our effects were done in post. So we were often working off of a tennis ball or imagining lasers that weren't actually there, um, or imagining wounds that would be added later on. And so I was really excited to take on this film because a lot of our effects were practical effects, and I got to kind of experience that kind of process in a very different way, where everything was right in front of me and the blood was coming out of a tube right there, and we got to do a lot of our own stunts. So everything, we kind of went at it from a different angle than we did on my previous projects. So that was really cool.
What about you, India?
Yeah, I think with The Strangers, I really dipped in and out of that like very quickly. This film had me doing a lot of running. Like
Yeah.
I'm running a lot in Fifth Street Prom Queen. That's definitely something I remember. Yeah, I think what Fina was saying, having the practical effects, like having it right in front of you, adds to that level of reality. Like knowing, obviously, it's not real, but seeing your friends and your co-workers die in front of you, even in a fake way, can really, really make you feel it. So I think that's something about, like what Fina was saying similarly about this film, that was like so what's the word? I don't know, but it just made it such an experience that was different from anything I've ever done before.
So could you say that, I mean, both of you also had a little bit of work being in theater. So do you think a bit of that practicality from theater also applied in your roles here?
When I did theatre, it was a really, really long time ago, in 1984. No, sorry, not in.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's
Yeah,
the
in the
movie
year of
for, yeah,
1984.
but
Back in
No, I
1984.
was in George Orwell's 1984, and because of my age, they didn't let me see or witness or really hear any of the horrific end of that play. I'm still waiting for it to be brought back to the West End so I can actually experience it. But I remember sort of being told about the moments where he has the cage and the rats kind of come and attack him. So I remember just being so like intrigued and just wanting to see it. I think maybe this film satisfied that urge now. I'm fine. I don't need to see anything else. But yeah, I didn't really get to see any of those practical stuff, any of that practical stuff on stage during that play, but hopefully something.
Yeah, and
hopefully
I
something.
think that a lot of our characters are highly theatrical, because the movie itself is kind of campy and absurd, and we got to kind of lean into archetypes of people that you don't normally lean into. And then also because we were shooting for a large majority of the film in this large prom hall, there were a lot of moving parts, and in order to get the perfect shot, a lot of people needed to be highly choreographed, and we all needed to know what everyone was doing. And it kind of felt like this choreographed scene in a theatrical space at times because the camera would be moving and everyone needed to have their beats down. So I think theater experience can play into that. And the prom hall had a stage in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We were being
That-
theater performers at times, you know.
Yeah, and if I can get one last question, because I know, Fina, that you are currently on John Proctor on Broadway, and congrats on the Tony nomination again. And I got to talk about this because you are working with another lead from the Fear Street franchise, Sadie Sink. So how do you think her performance from 1978 inspired your performance from Tiffany? And what was that conversation about Fear Street between you two once you actually joined the cast of John Proctor?
Um, I don't know. I think Sadie and Tiffany, they both have some fire in them, in both of the movies, but perhaps Sadie has some more empathy in her character. Um, but I don't know. Sadie's really excited about seeing how this film turns out. We've been having a really good time in John Proctor. We're very excited for the Tony season. A lot of exciting things are going on right now, so she's very supportive.
Oh.
We're having some fun times over there.
Definitely. Well, I can't wait to see you hopefully win the Tony when the award season actually comes. And for you, India, I can't wait to see you back on the West End in the near future. So I gotta say for both of you, thank you so much again. And I really hope that you both have a wonderful day again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.